Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we'll be continuing What If Bardock was sent to the future. Last time we covered the future timeline and the tragedy of Trunks' world. That was of course in part 2.5. Bardock's death ended up costing Android 18 an arm and a leg. Literally. Raditz and Gohan lived the longest while training Trunks, but eventually died as well. Trunks is far stronger now though, and has longer hair in honor of his master Raditz. Now he has come to the past to give Goku the heart medicine and tell them all of the android threat. So before we begin, I want to remind you all that if you enjoy this video, you should like it and subscribe to see more like it. As always, be sure to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. Alright, so now that we're back in the present, we can finally talk about Part 3. As Trunks leaves, Piccolo leaks the information to the Z Fighters. Bardock, being the leader and wanting everyone to get stronger, tells the Earthlings to all train together since they won't be training with them. Meanwhile, Bardock, Piccolo, and Goku will train Gohan and bring Raditz back to life to aid in their training. If you remember, Raditz died on Namek and decided to take a break, staying in Otherworld for a little while. I retconned this in part 2.5, and most people haven't seen that, so if you're coming here without seeing part 2.5, 1, you should probably already have watched that. It'll be linked in the description. And 2, we decided that Raditz took a break and actually stayed in Otherworld for a little while. Anyway, they do so in bringing him back, and everyone begins their training. Also, Vegeta and Nappa train alone in the gravity chamber. Now a lot of people are going to be weaker here since they were weaker before this in the other parts of the story. Goku, Tenshinhan, Krillin, Yamcha, Chaozu, and especially Piccolo since he never fused with Nail, are weaker. The only one stronger than in canon is Vegeta, since Nappa, Raditz, and Bardock weren't here in canon. After the 3 years, the Z Fighters arrive to face off against the androids. Yamcha gets bodied by Android 20, but gets saved just in time. The showdown with 19 and 20 then happens with Bardock taking 19 and Goku taking on 20. Bardock would be easily body slamming 19, while his son was barely keeping up against 20, and would actually be succumbing to the heart virus. He would be getting bodied by the android, and eventually get his energy absorbed. As he was about to get his long-awaited revenge, Jiro's arm was chopped off. Raditz then punched him in the face, unleashing a flurry of blows in his Super Saiyan form. Yamcha grabbed Goku, and flew away as the Super Saiyans roared on in their battle. Eventually, Bardock had killed 19, leaving 20 defenseless. He blasted the ground, leaving dust in the air, before flying away. As he flew, he was stopped by Vegeta and Nappa. Jiro took advantage of their Saiyan pride by telling them that he'll release the androids in exchange for them letting him live. Vegeta flies off with Jiro after accepting this, while Bardock, Raditz, and the others chase after. However, just like on Namek, Nappa stands in their way. Bardock chases after Vegeta to stop the androids from being released, but unlike on Namek, Nappa was now stronger than Raditz. Raditz begins to battle and is actually getting body slammed by him, and all the other Z Fighters are no match for the Super Saiyans. Unable to help, they try firing beams, using certain techniques, anything they can do to catch Nappa off guard. Meanwhile, Bardock was chasing after Vegeta and Jiro, but their head start was too much, resulting in Jiro making it to the lab as Bardock arrived. Vegeta told his Saiyan rival that he had some androids to fight, but Bardock tried reasoning with him. They had fought against Frieza together, although not side by side. Surely they could do this again now. Vegeta said that he didn't care for what happens to this planet, he just wants to face the androids to test his power and show it as well. Cut back to Nappa and Raditz once again, and Raditz is getting completely bodied. He barely has anything left in him and is likely going to die in this fight. However, he is reassured when a blast throws Nappa away. He looks up to see future Trunks has returned as a Super Saiyan, and, fires a blast. Krillin gives Raditz a Senzu Bean, and the two now easily bop Nappa, leaving him unconscious. Although Raditz contemplates with killing him, they eventually decide not to, and fly away and head toward Bardock and Vegeta. There, they find the androids released and Jiro has been killed. Bardock lets Vegeta attack the androids just to see him get bodied by both at once. With a broken arm, Vegeta is beaten down, and the rest of the Z Fighters jump in. Bardock, Trunks, Raditz, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Krillin all bodied easily the two androids. Bardock knew this nightmare would get worse if he let them live, as he had been having visions of them recently. He did everything in his power to stop them, but ultimately was bodied with the rest. With everyone suffering a loss, the crew ate senzu beans and went to see Goku. The time machine subplot then happens, and so does the crew wanting to go in the time chamber. However, this would be a little bit different since Vegeta has already used it once before when he snuck inside to get a little bit more gains before they went to Namek. Vegeta and Nappa flew onto the lookout, having wanted to train there once more. Bardock, Goku, Raditz, and Trunks only agreed without conflict so long as they trained with each other. Vegeta begrudgingly accepted this, just wanting to begin training now. He went in with future Trunks, while Nappa and Raditz were decided on, since they were the two with the most hatred for each other. Now with the Piccolo subplot, there will be no Kami fusion, since even if he did it, he would still be fodder. There's no point in he and Kami arguing and waiting for so long, if Piccolo's fusion is even going to change anything. This means the androids would basically roam around until they find the Z Fighters at Kame House. This would lead Bardock, Raditz, and Goku having to show up to defend them. They fight with all their might, but ultimately are beaten. Bardock asks for Nappa to help them, but he refuses to help low-class warriors. This led to Android 16 killing Goku. Bardock and Raditz were both enraged, and so was Gohan, who was there as well. But even with all three of them teaming up, and Gohan finally awakening Super Saiyan, it was not enough. The three androids together were far too much. That's when Cell showed up, absorbing Android 17. He then began to do his battle with 16 as semi-perfect Cell, in which he easily won like in canon. The Z Fighters then struggled to defend 18, but after adding their own blast to Tenshinhan's Neo Tri-Beam, they managed to do enough to keep Cell in place. Vegeta and Trunks then arrived. The two were far stronger than in canon, and thusly Vegeta bodied Cell even easier. This, however, fueled him further than in canon to let Cell become perfect, as it was even less of a challenge for him now. However, with Trunks having been trained by Raditz and Gohan, he was not just going to let stuff fly. He would forcefully stop his father if he had to, which of course, knowing Vegeta, he did. The two did battle, with Trunks having the edge, surprisingly. Remember that because of his long-lasting training, he was much stronger than in canon. He did manage to beat his father, but this only bought more time for Cell, who sprung into action to absorb Android 18. He then fought Trunks, but in Grade 2 he was easily bodied. Trunks then pulled out what he thought to be his trump card, Grade 3. He would soon come to find out the drawbacks of this form, and would once again be beaten. I'm coming to realize that our Z Fighters just cannot catch a break of this saga. They're just getting body slammed every time they try to breathe. Luckily for them though, Cell spares everyone, announces the Cell Games, and waits 10 days for the Z Fighters to finish training. Remember that Goku is still dead in this version, but Bardock convinces him that they need him here. He returns, and with Bardock convincing the Earthlings to train as well, here is how the days are spent. Day 1. Raditz and Nappa train, unlocking grades 2 and 3. Day 2. Bardock and Goku train, unlocking grades 2, 3, and 4. Day 3. Piccolo and Trunks train. Day 4. Krillin and Yamcha train. Day 5. Tenshinhan and Chaozu trains. Day 6. Vegeta trains. And Day 7. Goku and Gohan train, with Gohan unlocking grades 2 and 3. And that's it. Everyone is now substantially stronger than in canon, minus Piccolo. With this, everyone arrived at the Cell Games. The first match, after Mr. Satan of course, would be the same, with Goku giving up at the end. Next would be Bardock. In Grade 4, Bardock's power was now almost equal with Cell's. The two clashed, with every blow shaking the ground around them. Everyone could feel the battle. The news reports would see this epic clash and be completely shocked. Bardock's strength nearly equaled Cell's, allowing for him to keep up and even damage Cell greatly. The two would both end up damaged when Cell would unleash the Cell Juniors. He creates one more though because Bardock is there. Cell laughs, sicking them on all the Z Fighters. This leaves Bardock with the dilemma of helping everyone or continuing to fight. However, Cell told him that he didn't have a choice, punching him in the face. The two continued their fight, but Cell is ultimately winning. With superior skill and strength, Even though it's close, Bardock is beginning to lose ground. Meanwhile, most of the Z Fighters are getting bodied by the Cell Juniors. The only ones who can really do anything are Goku and Vegeta, but with everyone else losing pretty badly, those two can barely keep up as well. When he sees both of his sons, Kakarot and Raditz, struggling, Bardock is forced to use his ultimate move, combining the technique he learned on Yardrat with his former best move. He uses the Warp Lance Double Kamehameha. That is a very long name, but it only makes it even stronger. Using this, he is able to teleport to the Cell Juniors and destroy both of them with this blast. Cell sees this and shoots Raditz straight through the chest. Bardock's oldest son falls to the ground, losing life rapidly. Bardock is infuriated, but has no more energy left in him. Cell laughs, telling him to not even try taking a Senzu Bean, as he'll just destroy it and take one for himself. Bardock mourns the loss of his son, once again, just like on Namek, feeling weak and powerless to stop him from meeting this fate so many times. Goku yells back with an offer. What if they let both he and Cell have one? Cell agrees, saying that he'll let it happen, and so Goku throws him and his father a Senzu Bean. The two take the ones Goku had thrown them, bringing themselves back to full strength. Cell says that that is much better, and that they've just doomed themselves. Bardock, however, disagrees. He slowly begins walking towards Cell, silently. The bio-android laughs, asking if he's ready for round 2, but the Saiyan doesn't answer. As he walks, his aura begins expanding, electricity crackling all around him, and his hair starts to spike up even more. Eventually, he comes face to face with Cell, and that's when everything sparks up all at once. All of the changes fully surface, and Bardock has now become a Super Saiyan 2. Cell feels this rapid change in power, but stays confident. His confidence is then beaten out of him as Bardock completely destroys him. He isn't too arrogant about this though, knowing what could happen if he holds back. He instead has a bit of fun bodying Cell until he finally grabs his arm, spinning him around and launching him into the sky. He then creates a blue ball blast, throwing it along with Cell. It seems small at first, but once it hits him, it explodes into a massive ball of energy, completely disintegrating the android. The Cell games were finally over. The Z Fighters cheered Bardock on for his victory, and after this, Trunks went back to his timeline, with Vegeta only respecting him because of his strength and willingness to fight his own father. Kami then accepts that his time has come, finally fusing with Piccolo. Bardock uses instant transmission to grab Dende from Namek, and he comes back, creating new Dragon Balls to bring Raditz back to life. Vegeta, however, would be very resentful of everyone else, and would be far more angry than in canon. In this series, he has only really regressed. But anyway, that's where we'll leave this part. We've covered all of the Cell arc, so next time we'll go over Boo. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this series, and I'll definitely be sure to do more. Hopefully the rest of the series won't be super short though, like some of my other series. But as always, tell me if you like this part, tell me what you think will happen next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day.